Hello, hello. This is Trisha Dyka of the Happy Empath, and today I am going to be uh, interviewed by my friend Sylvie over here, and she is going to be asking me all kinds of questions, which I'm really excited about because I'm sure there's things that I have not touched on or I have not thought on. So she's going to be asking me questions about what affects her as an empath and delve into the tools that I know she has seen me write about. And thank you so much for doing this. I'm excited.
Well, I am very excited too. I'm so glad we're going into specifics, Trisha. Thank you so much for this opportunity. And so, yes, let me dive in. Um, my big thing, because I know you've been dealing with this for a long time, and I know you have tools. So you may just have tools for these specific scenarios. In my case, I've read that empaths should choose their jobs wisely. Healing, counseling can be hard on an empath. I've had firsthand experience. I know what that is. I was a counselor in one of my past lives. Now, I love animals. I have my own. I watch all the animal shelter shows and rescue shows, and I spend lots of time in nature learning about them, being with them. The problem is when things go bad with animals, I feel a sorrow and a grief bigger than even losing family and friends. I'd like to manage that better so that I can work maybe in a shelter or with animals in the future.
Mhm.
Now, am I kidding myself? Is it like the news, like it's affecting you, so don't do it? Or are there tools to help process?
It's interesting that you say that because there's a lot of empaths who are in some type of healing industry, nurses, doctors, lots of counselors.
Mhm.
It amazes me because empaths want to create change. They want to help people. They want to share their gifts. So that does not surprise me at all. Vets, they want to be vets. They want to work with animals. They want to work with the earth. Um, and unfortunately, there's going to be there's going to be things in our lives we cannot avoid.
There's going to be tragedy in those fields.
Yes, there's going to be tragedy in those fields. And those are the times that we need to be ready to express our emotions instead of holding it in. If you want to make a difference, I'm all for it. I also feel like anybody who is going into those fields needs to raise their vibration, make sure they're grounded daily, make sure that they have time. And I talk about 5 minutes in the morning, 5 minutes in the afternoon, 5 minutes at night. If you could do more, that's great. If you do nothing, at least this is a starting point. And that is recharge time. That is time to be alone. Um, I think empaths can do it because I think that is where we really use our gifts is helping others. And tragedy will always be there. It sucks. It is a human experience, and we're here to embrace it. I wouldn't tell you not to do something because that is your calling or that is something you truly want to experience. So I'm going to tell you to go for it. I'm also going to tell you the happier you are as an individual with your life, with who you are, with where you see yourself going, the easier it is to handle these situations. They're going to be heartbreaking. They're going to suck the life out of you. However, that being said, if you're not up to par there, then don't torment yourself and go into a field that is going to drain you, suck the life out of you, and not give you any type of excitement or happiness. If you're not happy in it because the overwhelm is too much or the watching an animal be hurt is way too much for you, then I don't think you should do it for yourself. But only you can say yes or no. That is something that you have to try to see if you can do it. Because if it is too much, then I'm going to say to you, no, don't do it. I'm going to say to you, experience it. I'm going to say to you, make sure that you're doing things for yourself every single day that increases your happiness, that you're positive, that you're excited to be doing it. Because if you're not and you're dreading it, that's just going to suck the life out of you. And that's just going to hurt you.
I really, really like how you brought both facets. You know how, yeah, be aware. It comes with the territory, and as long as you're happy, do it. If you start feeling overwhelmed, start questioning if you should be doing it. Because I think if I had known that years ago, there are certain careers I would not have done. So that is great information. And at the same time, you're right. I mean, what if going in as an empath, I already know that I need to have certain tools in place, that I need to make sure my cup is full in order to do this properly and really enjoy it, then that helps. I think that's the problem. Is sometimes we give, and we don't realize part of giving, you need to fill the cup.
Yes. Yes. And I see a lot of nurses and a lot of people in the healthcare field. They give, and they completely deplete their energy, and they want to give more. I know this whole mess that we're in, they have they've given so much. Um, I don't know if they've had the time. I'm not in their shoes to give themselves 5 minutes to recharge, to help themselves, to say, holy shit, I'm overwhelmed. When a quick and easy tool that right off the top of my head, I'm going to run into the bathroom because I'm at work. I'm going to wash my hands, and because water's a great cleanser. So I'm going to clear this energy off. I'm going to shake it off. They are in situations that, God bless them, is not something for me. And I know this. I know for myself personally, I am not meant to be in the health field industry. That's not who I am. No, but I already know this. So um, I stay away from that. I love animals. Like, for me, I don't know yet how it's going to look, but I'm going to work with large animals. No idea. Um, and I want to somehow help with poaching and these. Yes, I don't know how, but that
Okay.
is something for me. And I do know, you know, as I look at it from both sides, and I ask myself, will I be able to handle this?
Yeah.
Is my power and my desire, even more than
Your
being
will.
able to handle the devastating effects as well. So each one of us needs to be able to answer this for ourselves. I would never tell somebody not to do something or not to experience something, because maybe that is what you're here to do.
Yeah, good point. So let's go in there and pick at it a little, because even like for a nurse who's presently in this force, or let's say I choose to try this, but I want to go there informed and tools. Can you maybe give me like 3 tools that I can try? And, for the passing weeks, I'd be able to see, okay, I'm feeling good. And when I don't do them, wow, big difference.
Yeah.
Top of your head,
Um,
what are your favorites or your go-tos?
I have so many. It's insane. The ones that I do talk about a lot are the heart-centered intention, and that is when you are grounding yourself in the morning. If you do not have any rituals at all, let's start there.
Okay.
Let's start with making sure in the morning you have some type of ritual. Me, I love my cup of coffee. I love to sit down. I love to think about my day, prep myself for my day. I love to um, meditate. And my meditation, seriously, is like 3 minutes long, because I like to ground my energy. You can ground your energy in so many different ways. I like to imagine like multicolored lights, because I love colors, coming down from the universe, going through my whole body, going through all my chakras, going all the way down into the earth, grounding my energy there. When I get there, I do one of two things. I I have two special little places. One is like a grass area with a stream next to it, a little waterfall. And I just like to ground myself on Mother Earth. And then there's another spot where I like to jump into a little pool filled with dolphins. This is my go-tos. However, create whatever, like if you love the mountains, create a mountain scene. If you love the beach, create a beach scene. Whatever, this is about you. You must tweak it to what resonates and works for you. And then what I do is I ask the universe Two different things. Here's two different tools. One is I open up my heart center and I have a gentle breeze coming through me all day long, clearing out anything that I have picked up that is not mine. That's A. And then it goes down into the earth to be cleared and healed. The second tool is my empath symbol. While I'm also in this space, I ask the universe to show me my symbol when what I am feeling is not mine, And you're going to feel this symbol with animals. You're going to feel this symbol with people. You're going to feel this symbol with the earth. It is emotions. Like I do one for emotions. Do one for collective consciousness. Mine is a bear. I happen to love large animals. And yours can be anything. It can be an animal. It could be a mammal. It could be flowers. It can be places. It can be colors, instruments. It doesn't have to be like people have asked me, can it be my spirit guide? I would say no. Just do something that you like. Don't make a big deal like it doesn't have to be. And then just ask the universe to show you your symbol when what you're feeling is not yours. And I'll take it a step further and say what's not mine when I am feeling the collective consciousness. So like I have a couple of symbols. If you've just started out with it, just start with one. And then be open. Trust yourself, trust the universe that you're going to get this information. I remember when I first started using it, I was walking into a Best Buy and I was totally strung out that day. And we walked into the Best Buy and my husband knew at this point, what I was doing. On every TV, there was a bear. I did not believe it. So I asked the universe, prove it to me. A lady literally walked right in front of me saying lions, tigers, and bears. I went, oh shit. Okay. You see, but I want you to know, I didn't trust myself at this point. I didn't trust the universe. And I was like, well, prove it to me. And I did that more than once until I got comfortable in my own skin, until I got comfortable that the universe really does have our backs. And I started to trust what I was seeing. And I remember one night I was totally, oh my God, I was losing it. Literally, I was full of anxiety. We were home. Mind you, I'm in the four walls of my own house, feeling emotions like crazy.
Yeah.
I am watching, good God, I can't even remember. Oh my God. It was like, I think it was part of Lord of the Rings trilogy. And there was some freaky looking creature. And I'm like, well, what the hell is that? And Gandalf, I believe, said, it's a bear. I'm like, nah. So, here's the thing. When we are willing to open ourselves up to possibilities, the universe is right there saying, I got your back. Now it's also a matter of you paying attention.
Mm-hmm. Oh, I love it. And I love that you shared that you didn't trust it, because it's nice to know that you haven't always, been so sure about these tools, that you've put them in the test, and that it's okay to ask for, like, you know what, I'm not trusting it. Give me another sign.
Yes.
Why not? Why not?
Yes. And I got to tell you, the first few weeks of using it, I would be constantly asking, and so much so that I didn't trust myself in the universe. I would walk around with a pendulum and say,
double check.
well, I saw my bear, but really, is that the truth? Yes, or I would ask yes or no questions. Is this mine? Is the bear here? Is my symbol showing me the truth? And it would be, I was that much of a doubter. I really was that much of a doubter. And as you get more accustomed to your energy, as you get more accustomed to trusting yourself, trusting the universe, you will see your symbol less and less, because you are truly learning your own energy. And when you do learn your own energy, you'll know immediately. However, with people who are in, fields where they are on the go. They are on the go. And I've caught myself on the go. You know, when
Yeah.
you wake up and you wake up late, life is
Yep.
happening, you didn't do shit for yourself, you're going. I would be like, I would have to like be like, oh my God, I'm so wrapped up in this, in life and in this moment, that I don't even know what I'm doing right now. Like I would be aware enough that I was doing that. And the universe would be like, all of a sudden in my third eye, it would start flashing. It would be like, all right, now she's present enough to hear us. She's present enough to, and I'd be like, it's happening in my third eye. Like, you know, I'm like,
Yeah.
what is this about? You know, or like random things would happen to me to get my symbol to me. It would be on a bus. It would be on a license plate. It would be on the back of a car. It would be on TV, you know, or somebody would go, I loved this picture and wanted to share it with you. And it's a bear.
Yeah.
I'm
Yeah.
like, for real? So, you know, and I feel for these healthcare workers who are going and going and who are empaths. And, you know, the best thing I could say for them in this moment, even though this is kind of, is using, you know, stopping for a second, going, I'm so overwhelmed, I don't know which end is up. And just imagining your heart centers open and having that just breathe, that breeze coming right through you. And a really
Nice.
good tool when you're totally overwhelmed and you don't know which way is up, because I've been there. Universe, please help me because I can't handle this and I don't know what's going on. If
Yeah.
this is not mine, please clear it out.
So simple.
So simple.
Wow. I love it. One thing that you did say is when you're using your symbols, you say, show me when it's not mine.
Mm-hmm.
Why not the reverse?
Because I have realized that as empaths, 95% of what we're picking up is not ours.
Wow.
When
Wow.
I first started to use it, I thought it was a joke. I was like, oh my God, I'm literally seeing my symbol everywhere.
Yeah.
And I went, really? Are we really as empaths picking that much up? And I went, oh my God. Then I looked back at my life and I can tell you situations like, you know, when I was in fourth grade, it started. I think it was fourth grade to 12th grade. Every single school year, I would cry the first 3 weeks of the year because I was afraid of dying.
Oh, I was just crying. Wow.
Well,
Wow.
you're crying because of all the emotions of kids going to
Oh,
school.
yeah.
You
Yeah.
know, I was petrified of death.
Wow.
What kid do you know is even thinking about death?
Yeah.
Unless, of course, they've seen it. And in my case, I had not.
Yeah. But you were feeling it, whatever.
Yes, exactly.
Oh,
Exactly.
and not to know, I mean, to me, it's like, this is wonderful that we get to do this now, but wow, the kids who get it when they're young,
Yes,
fabulous.
yes.
So tell me about your water exercise, because that was a neat one too. You said, is this the one that you're saying, like maybe 3 times throughout the day, go to the bathroom, wash your hands, and just release, whether there's something going on or not?
It's great. It's
Yeah.
just, it's water. Water is so cleansing for us. Crying is so cleansing for us. Taking an Epsom salt bath is so, it is helping us to release whatever we're holding on to. I was at a mall years ago and I remember I'm like, I'm losing my mind. And I went into the bathroom and I'm just standing in the stall breathing. Like I was just
Mm-hmm.
breathing because I'm like, oh my God, I'm strung out.
Yeah.
And I would just breathe in the stall. And I got out of the stall. Mind you, I didn't have to go to the bathroom either, which was kind of funny. I got out and I remember washing my hands and I'm like, wow, this actually feels good. And then I went and it just kind of clicked. And I was like, all right, I'm letting it go. I'm letting it go. And it was, I noticed my energy levels picking up and I was releasing whatever I had picked up. So water is amazing for empaths. Beach is great. Lakes, ponds, whatever you can do. Like I love being around a body of water and just,
Yeah. I
it's
think it's an
amazing.
empath thing, don't you? Like, I think like that feeds me so much. And then when I started looking into it, it's like, oh, it's everyone else too. Like every other empath says the same thing, you know? I mean, people will say, I love the water, but there's people who say, no, I need the water, you know? Neato.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, that was, boy, that what a wealth of information. That clarifies because I was having difficulty with the symbol thing. I was seeing it way too much. And I just thought, well, obviously this isn't working. I'm seeing it everywhere until you said 95% of it. So I will retry this. Yes, knowing this is might actually be the cue. So every morning, that's how you start, right? You put that out there when you first start, when you need it. That's how you start. Okay. All right. So my next subject for you is, I'm like you. I mean, we don't even talk, and you say things that I already do. Like you're like my little twin in so many ways. Like I'm big about self-love and self-care. And for 15 years, every morning, the first hour is mine. I do my 10-minute meditation right now. I love my little Joe Dispenza 11-minute tuning into new possibilities. Love it. It's short, it's fun, it's wonderful. I do my yoga. I do my coffee. It is my moment to sever every little last drop in quiet. I do things I love. Quality time, inspiration time is a need for me. Rock painting feeds me like no other artwork I've ever done. Time in nature. And I choose the people in my life very carefully because from experience, I know that I'm much healthier with keeping a certain space with certain people and myself. That's just, I've learned that. However, life happens.
Mm-hmm.
And when I'm just wanting to pick your brain, when you know that you're going to go into an area which will have triggers, or after which you will feel drained. Like I know in COVID time, going to the grocery store, I've noticed that from the first time I did it, when I get home, I need a nap. And it was the second time that it happens, like, oh my God, what's happening? I like slept my 8 hours last night. I woke up feeling great. I went to the grocery store and now I need a nap. Like last time, 2 weeks ago. So when I know that I'm about to go into an environment where people are more feeling more intense, where I know there may be more fear, more loaded emotion, is there something more that I can do to pick up less, so that I'm not like, is there a way to prevent that 95%, or you just have to move with it?
There's a couple of things. Like me, first off, grocery shopping is a trigger. I know I will not go on the weekends.
Oh, no.
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 I will go first thing in the morning.
Yeah.
Or I will go at night.
Yeah.
I am not, and
Absolutely.
I will not touch Walmart. Walmart is a store that I will not touch.
Yeah.
I use my heart-centered intention. I'm going in there. Those just whatever I'm picking up that's not mine, just let it come right through my body, and it's up to the universe and the earth to take care of it.
You will do that in the morning, or will you do it even right before you have to do your groceries?
I will do it in the morning.
In the morning.
However, when I was first started using it, I used it all the damn time.
Oh.
I would be like, I'm coming in here and I'm feeling this. Let's let it go through. And again, it's a matter of trusting. It's a matter of knowing that it's going to work for you. But until I got to that point, I used it all the time. So use it whenever you're uncomfortable or you're going into, and if you're tired, if you do not feel well, do not go. Wait another day. Because by pushing ourselves to go when we're tired and we don't feel good, our energy is already low. So by doing that, we're actually saying my body's trying to give itself energy, or my body's trying to heal itself. And I'm at this place, my energy's low, and I'm picking up lower vibration, lower energies immediately.
Oh, thank you so much for that. Like that one is huge. And, I feel a lot because certain people, like a nurse, may not have that choice.
Yeah.
Like she has to get to work and she's tired and who knows what she's been like. I'm like you. I keep questioning that, like, oh my God, the nurses, it keeps coming up. Oh my God. Because not everyone has the luxury every time to choose. And even us, sometimes we have to go, but at least knowing that, I'm at full capacity and maybe I need to lower my expectations of what I'm going to be able to do today. Or maybe I need to avoid certain things. I have to go to work, but maybe I can avoid going out for lunch with so-and-so who's all about dumping and venting. And I know how I feel when I finish that. I can find an excuse. I can
Yeah.
lie.
Yeah. It's truly about honoring yourself, honoring your ebbs and flows, honoring saying, I don't have it today. I just don't have it for the bullshit. I don't have it for somebody to dump on me. And if you do work in a cubicle and somebody's coming over to dump on you, say, you know what? I'm in the middle of something. Let me come see you later and we'll talk about this. And it's pushing it away, and it's saying in that moment, I just can't do this for myself. I'm choosing not to. I'm making a choice in this moment to take care of my own mental and emotional well-being. And I will help that person later if I so choose. Empaths are not here so that people can dump all over them over and over and over again. That's a choice. You know, that is a choice. It is creating boundaries. It is saying no. It is saying later. There's things that you can absolutely do for yourself. And self-love is a huge one.
Mm.
The more you love yourself, the more you're willing to say no, the more you're willing to say, I'm an empath, I am happy, and I'm not here for everybody else to dump on me so that I can help them take their problems, do for them, and make myself last.
Mhm. It's really about owning it and like you said, going with the ebb and flow, because that's what an empath is.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, I like it. I like it. Okay. So that's for that situation where you're going into a tough. But let's talk about when you're being blindsided. All is well. I'm having a great day. I get in line to chat with someone I love, and bam, I don't want to be there. I feel tired, nervous, uncomfortable. It's like my skin crawls and I don't feel fine, but they seem fine. I'll leave the conversation, and that uncomfortable sometimes stays with me, even for days, like a sense of dread or blah, I don't know. So, how do I figure out if it's my menopause, if it's their stuff? I mean, I know there's a symbol. Is there any other way? And more importantly, how do I release it? Is it just the heart thing, or do you have other things like that you can suggest?
Well, let me ask you this first. The person that you're dealing with have you always had this?
Because if it was, you're right. Then I don't get blindsided. I know going into it, there's probably going to be that feeling. But when it's someone whom usually it's like, oh my God, I love talking to this person and I'm just about to, and all of a sudden it's like, oh, as soon as I dial in, it doesn't feel right, but that person seems okay. But I'm no longer feeling right. Like it feels, I'm feeling not right. And that's why I start questioning, okay, or am I having like a menopause hormonal moment, or is this really an empath thing?
Well, your body's telling you something's not right. Your
Yeah.
body's telling you.
Oh yeah.
And pay attention to the where it affects you.
Okay.
Okay. Because I know that is, I have spent a lot of time with my body, understanding it, understanding my energy. If I get a spot in my stomach on the left side, I'm like, I just picked something up and it's not mine.
Oh.
And it doesn't matter what I'm doing, where I am, or what's going on. And I also will have to check in constantly with my body to see what it is trying to tell me. Your body's trying to tell you something. You've just picked something up, right?
Physically, like to try to find where is it physically sitting.
Yeah.
Okay. And it doesn't mean because you have it on the left side of your body that it's something you're not digesting, an emotion or anything like that. Like you don't go with that. You just go like, this does not belong to me.
No. And what I want to point out is a trigger. It happens like that.
Mhm.
Happens like that. When something happens like this, when you're happy and you go to a different emotion like that,
Yep. A flip.
or it's like someone's lighting the switch,
Yep.
or it happened to me just today. Actually, I was working on some marketing materials, and I'm happy and I'm going, and all of a sudden, it's like I flatlined. Not only did I flatline, it was like this sense of blah and yuck I just picked up.
There you go.
And I'm in my office. I was doing it, and I'm like, oh my God. So I got up. I'm like, let me just walk around. Let me just get the energy moving in my body. And I come into the other room, and the music my husband's listening to. And I'm like, yeah, I don't like that. I'm picking something up.
Yeah.
I'm picking something up. And I was picking up from the music, which I thought was very interesting. So I
Wow.
said, can we, and he reads me very well. So he just went on and changed it to Pat Benatar, which I loved. And I
And that
got
was great.
moving, and then I was fine. But maybe when you feel this with whomever you're going on, maybe you could say, listen, can you just give me 5 minutes and I'll call you right back? And get up and shake that feeling. Find out, is it, maybe there is something going on that you don't know is going on underneath the surface with her.
Oh, sure.
Or if there's something that just collectively like went in the air,
Yeah.
that you're like, huh, do you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
instead of wondering all the time, because that also does not help us, because that puts us in the fight or flight mode, we want to just say, I feel you, and let it come through us.
Hmm.
And as much as I want to tell you everything that you're feeling is everybody else's, it's not. Our own shit comes up to be
Sure.
felt, to be seen. Or maybe she had something that triggered within you an emotion that is yours that needed to be let go.
Sure. So just
So,
acknowledging it
mhm,
and let it move through,
mhm,
right?
mhm.
Okay.
Because I've noticed as an empath, the more open I am, the
Yeah.
easier emotions flow through me. If they're not mine. If
Oh,
they're mine, sometimes I may have to sit with them for a little bit without creating the story. We get into trouble when we try to rationalize out the feeling that we're feeling with our head. Our head's like, oh my God, I had a fight with my mom 10 years ago. And like you're bringing up old past history that's crap and needs to
yeah.
go away. Or you're in the future, I have this appointment, and what if this happens? Or what if that? You're trying to make an explanation and understand why you're feeling that feeling instead of just feeling that feeling and shutting off your head. Sometimes easier said than done. It is something that I have worked on through the years. And it is like, oh, wow, I'm feeling a little bit of anger right now. It is definitely mine. Something's coming up. It's bubbling up to the surface. And I will just sit with it and allow it, because if we resist it, it comes back harder the next time.
Yes. Ouch. Okay, so when you feel it, uh, your way of doing it, like, will you just sit there and go, okay, bring it, and just sit there? And do you find that it goes or dissipates after a few minutes, or is it just after a
Yeah.
few minutes you go, okay, I gave you your time, now I need to move on?
Well, it does dissipate because now I'm paying attention to it and I'm giving it its room. Sometimes it does not. So I'll go to my journal and I'm like, I'm feeling angry. I don't really know why it's coming up to be. And whatever starts bubbling up to the surface with this, I let it go. Like I'll just, curses and all will come out.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm like, after I'm done with that exercise, I'm like, wow, I feel so much better. So if you start getting angry and you're triggered by something or someone, believe it or not, one of the things that I love to use is a journal, and I'll just journal it all out. And it's like, I'm really angry because, or this really pissed me off because, and sometimes there is something underlying that wanted your attention. So it'll bring it up, or just sometimes you need to release it, and it goes.
Nice. Okay. Oh, that. That I can definitely try because I love journaling. Haven't done it in a while, but love it.
Yeah.
Um, okay. So let me ask you this because we've talked a little bit about this previous, and I'm very new to the term empath. Up
Mhm.
until 2 years ago, I did not know what it was. It was actually a blessing to finally understand that I'm not alone, oversensitive, or weird.
Yeah.
Uh, and there are things that I know, like I'm more comfortable one-on-one. I am an extrovert in moderation. I need downtime as much, if not more. And I can be out there in front of people, no problem. And you help me understand also that even an acute sense of smell, which my husband says is uncanny, can also be an empath thing. So, what are other signs that maybe I don't even know are part of this gift?
You know what's interesting? We pick up just as many positive emotions as we do negative. And not once do we stop to question happiness, joy, excitement.
Yeah,
Yeah. Hmm.
I love that.
Yes.
Oh, well, that in itself is empowering.
Yes.
You know,
Yes,
you're
it
not
is.
just, you're a sponge. It's not just a negative sponge, you're a sponge. It all comes in, honor when when you get those boosts of, oh my gosh, am I ever pumped? It's like, okay, there's good mojo somewhere
Yeah.
around, you know?
Yeah. You never question it because why would you question those happy emotions? You know? So let's see. There's so much. There's so much. Not only do our empath sensitivities open us up to a lot of other gifts, um, sense of smell is heightened, fluorescent lighting, lighting will drive us crazy.
Mhm.
Uh, Being in large places can get a lot of empaths nuts if they're not prepared to go into it. Like I've gone into New York City, but I will tell you, I have to be on my game. I have to feel good. I've had to have a good night's sleep. I am making sure that I'm doing a lot of self-care. While I'm there, I'm kind of backing away from the people after a while and stopping for 5 minutes and being like, all right, I just need some space. Give me 5 minutes of space. You know, so when people go shopping in malls or they
Yeah.
go to stadiums or they go to like airports, there's a lot of people there. Sometimes you cannot avoid, like I've gone to the airport super early in the morning, so you're walking on 3 4 hours of sleep and I'm like, oh my god. And I'm excited about where I'm going most times.
Mhm.
And one of the things that you can do is be like, all right, like I know that I'm already twitchy because I lack of sleep. So
Mhm.
I need to step back, and allow this emotion to come up and understand that I might be twitchy and I might pick up even more because of that lack of sleep. So like sometimes it's unavoidable. And then there are times, do not go to the mall if you don't feel good or you're tired or you have a headache. Cancel those plans. It's okay. Or if you're there, be prepared to leave. Same thing at a party. People are empaths like, I can't do it. You can do it. You just have to make choices for yourself that honor who you are. I've gone with my husband and I'm like, I'm not sure how long I want to be here, and he's like, all right, let's just like, we'll come up with a code word or something that
Yeah.
he knows I'm done. I'm ready to
Yeah.
leave,
Yeah.
you know? Um, you have to understand yourself. You cannot force yourself into these situations because they're no good.
Mhm.
Sense of smell, like I've been in supermarkets and I've gone to the meat department. I'm like, oh hell no, I'm out, I'm done. And my husband like, I don't smell anything. I'm like, oh my god, I'm not eating any of this food. I picked up something.
Yeah.
Perfumes too, or colognes are pretty I'm very sensitive to those as well. um like heightened hearing. Sometimes we get into empath sensory overload where there's too much coming at you, even like listening. Like we're ham operators. So my husband will have his radios going and I'll be like, I just can't do this. I want to take all of those radios and throw them out the window along with the TV. Like, I'm done.
Oh yeah.
And like, so it's the noise levels. It's, a sense of knowing too with empaths. You just know things. You know things before they happen. You know when someone's full of shit. You know when someone's full of shit and lying to themselves. You also can just sense that BS. Like, you're like, yeah,
Yeah.
no,
Yeah.
So I'm trying to think, like, lights are pretty big for empaths. Sense of knowing. We can pick things up in books. We can pick things up online through text message, social media. People are like, if your feed, like my feed was a hot mess during quarantine. I went through my whole feed on all my social media and I cut it down.
Yeah. And I've heard so many people tell me that.
Yes.
I am truly blessed. I think for some reason, I have only had the greatest people on my Facebook, you included. Like, seriously, I do not see some of the junk that people have been telling me they see and hear. And maybe I choose not to. I mean, I really do live in my own little world sometimes where it's like, I'm sure my eyes glanced over it and I didn't pick it up. I have to acknowledge that.
Yeah.
But yes, it's huge because some people are very um, intense with feelings, and that's okay to feel feelings intense. But as an empath, and I believe that if I understand that properly, is that we know not to dump it. We know what that feels like. So we are generally, I find, more cautious and more sensitive to the other person to not be mean or lie or do all, it's not a personality trait that is comfortable for us, to be a liar, to be mean, to be to walk over someone. Like, I find that's an empath trait. It just doesn't. If we do it, boy, it doesn't feel good. Even if the person deserves it, it's like, oh, they deserved me telling them off. It's just, I could have done it differently and felt good about it. I really unleashed the insensitive on there. I put stuff in there that didn't belong to the situation.
Well, you can be kind and you can have strong boundaries.
Yeah,
You
this
can
is
be
it.
kind and you can have strong boundaries.
Yeah.
You can, it's interesting that you were saying that, because I don't allow people to, I don't tolerate people coming at me or being nasty to me. It's no longer acceptable to me. My boundaries are strong. What I'm willing to tolerate, I know that's always evolving and changing. Don't think for 1 second it's not, because, boundaries are super important for empaths. So know what you're willing to tolerate, know where your breaking point, and we're notorious people pleasers and wanting to help,
Oh, yeah.
but it's at the detriment of ourselves.
Yeah.
So as an empath, we need to learn to self-love, self-worth, to put
Say no.
ourselves first,
Yeah.
and it's interesting, when I first started saying no, it really,
You got to push back.
I got pushed back hard, and I pushed back even harder, because I was
Yeah.
like, no, I'm no longer doing this. This is not okay,
Mm-hmm.
because being oversensitive does not allow you to manipulate or guilt me.
Mm-hmm.
And that happens with friends, that happens especially within family. I mean, you have to learn to draw your lines and know what is best for you, because I definitely was the doormat and people pleaser big time. Big time.
I think that's how we start, unless you've been raised to honor that gift.
Yeah.
But your parents can't do what they know for themselves. So I mean, I know in my case that was certainly, I see how it
Mm.
was, very gentle hearts, but boy, they didn't even know how to have the tools. So how could they possibly teach it?
Yeah.
Yeah, no, this is it. No, that's great. So I guess I don't know if this is empathic. You tell me. Is there a tool to channel intense emotions so that they do not interfere with my voice? Like when I witness cruelty or extreme tragedy, I'm like a deer in the headlights. my mind goes blank. I just feel the feeling so intensely that the words don't even come up. And if they do, if I try to push through, it's the floodgates. And then no one understands what I'm saying because I'm just blubbering in between sobs, you know? So I find if there was a tool for me to, I'm not saying shut it down, or like you said, you know, I'm not into this like protect, push, shield, blah, blah. Is there a way to minimize that impact so that I can deal with it in that moment without being consumed by the feeling? Or is that just being an empath?
Well, it depends on what we're talking about. Like, there are certain things going on in the world that are horrific,
Yeah.
and there is no, it's just there, and it is like, oh my God. However, if there is something in your life that is happening, and you're unable to formulate sentences, step back. Step back, because your anger and your frustration is going to come out in a way that is going to be just not help anybody.
Yeah.
So if you're looking to get involved in a cause or something, then, and you have these big emotions coming up because that's
Yeah.
your response to the situation,
Yeah.
there's nothing wrong with your response to the situation. So you feeling deeply, you hurting, you wanting to do something is okay. That's okay.
Mm-hmm.
But that reaction to have a response,
Mm-hmm.
pull back, think about it before you have that response.
Mm-hmm.
Because otherwise, like I've done it where I've just gone off. First off, I'm like, oh my God, I don't even know half of that made sense.
Yeah.
Um, I'm trying to protect this person, or I'm trying to do this. And it's like, no, sometimes our best responses is stepping back before and calming ourselves down before we have a response. You
Okay.
know, it depends on what situation you're talking about. There's so many different things, you know?
Well, you know, and that's what I was wondering, because, you know, sometimes you know, I was participating in an activity, and we were discussing a very tragic situation in nature. And like I said, that's where I'm at my most sensitive.
Mm-hmm.
And I was trying to express what my take was from what I was picking up, and the words would not come out. They just stayed right there. And the more I tried, the more it was just tears. So it's like, oh, you know, I wish that I was the type of person who could just swallow and then breathe and then go. But I guess, like you said, it's a matter of instead just saying, you know what, I'll have to send you the information later
Well,
because I
sometimes
can't
that
get
is the
through it.
best for us because we're dealing with a lot of emotions, you know, and using the tool with the heart-centered intention to let it flow through you so that the universe and you still have an intense response. That's without a doubt, but having that to help you clear it faster,
Yeah.
and then being able to say, okay, here is this is exactly what I want to say now, and this is how I want to bring it to you. And sometimes it may not be over a call. It will have to be via email or via text message because you are
Okay.
that volatile for you.
So it's more about accepting and being okay that that's how it is, and stopping to fight. You know, obviously fighting it has not worked for me, you know, because it just makes it happens. Like you said, either it comes out really bad or it doesn't come out at all, you know. So
Yeah. And if you wanted to, I mean, sometimes step back and just like breathing for a second, just say, you know what? Hold on. I want to respond, but I just need a minute.
oh, nice.
You know, I just need a minute. And it's like just start breathing into whatever's coming up and whatever you're feeling so that it can be cleared, and then say, here's my take on it. You know, but sometimes we need to step back and say, I give me a moment.
Nice.
Mm.
Ah, my gosh. Well, this has been
Yes.
absolutely
And it's
wonderful. So much information. You know, you really talk about so many different tools and whatnot. And I know for me, it was specifics, but you know, I know you when you're posting on Facebook, and I do want to listen to your podcast. I want to find you now I didn't know you were doing those, but I love that you are so generous with sharing your experience. Uh, you are really part of the solution, and we need more
Thank
people
you.
like you, especially now. Um, it, if I think knowing this information for me, like you said, it does make me the best version of me, and that can only help. And
Mhm.
it's still, and I love that it's about feeling empowered about it, not feeling like, not believing the stories of the youth of, oh, you're just sensitive or you're weird,
Yeah.
and just instead having tools. This is what it is. Either I accept it or I find ways around it. So I think, thank you so much for doing this,
Thank
for doing
you.
you without apology. You crack me up. I swear you're the voice in my head or maybe in my sister's mouth. You're not mine, but I love it. And this has been a huge gift. Thank
Thank
you
you.
so much.
Thank you so much for stepping in and asking me these questions because, they make me also think from a different perspective. And, we have been told we are too sensitive, and we have been told stop being so sensitive. And that is a superpower. And because we've been told that, it also affects our intuition because we don't trust it
Yeah.
when we're growing up. So if that's you, know you can absolutely get it back. Know that you can create the space for yourself and have the time to just give yourself a break, listen to yourself, honor yourself. So thank you so much for joining me today. And guys, those of you watching, please ask any question and take the tools, tweak them, make them your own, and utilize what resonates for you. Thank you.
Thank you.